Your idle chatter is suddenly interrupted by a rugged-looking guardsman dressed in black and green. He chases you away from the fountain. Common rabble like you have no place here. You hear the clattering of hooves and wheels against cobblestones, and you see flags bearing a coat of arms, a sable serpent on a field of vert. It makes you squirm. It is the Archduke's coat of arms, the Melanidas dynasty. The carriage door opens, revealing a young lady in a luxurious dress. You cannot look away from her. Those dainty shoulders suggested but not revealed by the cut of her dress. Her black hair cascading over them, her stately, slim silhouette, her pouty lips and prim nose, and those eyes, dark like the night sky. The way she moves, fluidly and gracefully, and most incredible of all, her skin glows an azure blue. She is a masterpiece given life. She is an Arknian. Octavia Melanidas. Clear the way for me. The Melanidas guardsmen work quickly to clear the way to the fountain for the Arknian lady. The searing sun dances on her skin in bizarre patterns. With one elegant motion, she reveals a handkerchief, then leans over the basin and wipes her head and neck with its cool water. Thomas Guerrero. Well, it'll be. That's Octavia Melanidas, our Archduke's own daughter. The Arknian turns away and proceeds gracefully back to her carriage. You can see something slip out of her hand and fall onto the cobblestones right next to you. It's a handkerchief. It's right there by your feet. Intricate craftsmanship, expensive woven fabric, delicately decorated with emerald filigree. Your heart skips a beat. Will you dare draw the beautiful Arknian's attention in order to return her lost possession, or would you rather not attempt to cross the chasm between you and her? So once again, due to our willpower, I really want to change that and get the willpower back, but damn. We can stash the trophy and Thomas relations with Thomas increase, or keep it as a memento. Yeah, we need our willpower back badly. You watch the Arknian lady depart, trying to burn her every movement into your memory. You carefully observe Lady Octavia as she leaves. Her delicate figure moves through the square like a walking dream, her elegant hands gliding through the air, her hair flowing in the breeze. Your eyes watch all of her. She returns to the carriage, leaning on a guardsman's shoulder as she gracefully climbs back inside. The soft handkerchief feels warm in your hand. You fold it carefully and hide it in your pocket. The carriage drives away, marked by the thudding rhythm of the hooves. Until that day you associated the Melanidas dynasty with nothing but indifferent cruelty. But now your breast pocket holds proof of yet another quality they possess. Beauty. The Quorum Decree. 12 years now. You overhear an important conversation. It is spring night, and Mother has just sent everyone to bed. You walk past Father's study and hear voices coming from beyond the door. Grandfather is yelling, and Father is quietly replying. The elder Brante men are fighting, arguing about the place of commoners in the city. You sneak outside to avoid mother's attention and hide next to the open window of the study. Perhaps to mention you too.
That low-life idiot had the gall to pay me a visit and beg me for some service. He had the insolence to ask me outright. I thought I was going to support his claim for the chairman's seat in a lesser quorum. How dare he?
Father, please listen. Mayor Egmont may be low-born, but he carries a lot of clout in Magra. He owns 5 iron mines. A friend like him could be quite useful, should he become the chairman of the lesser quorum.
I don't give a damn about who Egmont is, Robert. Whatever he is, however... What he is, however, is low-born. His lot is humility and obedience. The likes of him can never rule anything. They're nothing but a flock of sheep that need a firm, noble hand to guide them. I've wasted so many years trying to quash that quorum decree, but that accursed Cornelius Tempest did everything in his power to make the Emperor sign that perfected creed. Now even lowlifes can wield power. True power, Robert.
Just a right to discuss the size of the Archduke's tax and nothing more.
That is only the beginning. What's next? Are they going to arm the lowlives now? Make them into judges? If the Empire rejects the foundations and the lots, the entire edifice will crumble. Well, my tenants too. It is already crumbling, and you, my son and heir, are the harbinger of its destruction.
Father, I'm begging you. I do not wish to marry a 3rd time. Lydia is a good wife and a dutiful mother to my children, if only you would allow her to.
I will allow them nothing, neither Egmont nor that freeloading wench of yours. What will you have me do next? Live by the laws of lowborn? I can already see where this is going, and I'd rather run my own sword through my gut than live in a country where nobles and lowlife share the same rights. My only dream is to see the name of Brante in the Blue Book, but the dream will never come true. They will never call me Venerable El Brante, and it's all because of this marriage of yours. My only hope now is to hear Stephen addressed in such a manner one day. Thank the twins I didn't let you ruin the boy. He's about to grow up a true nobleman, and his children will bear the name El Brante.
You have 2 more grandsons.
Those spineless milksops from the common lot, they're incapable of anything. The best your middle son could do is sneak into the Imperial College and get ignoble by the mantle, although I already have grave doubts about even that. As for the downtrodden Nathan, I hold no hope for him whatsoever.
You hear grandfather's heavy steps, the thudding of his cane, the slamming of the door. It's time to sneak back into the home before you're discovered. A reduction in power. Oh wait, an increase in power actually, yeah. School begins the year 1130. You start studying at the school of Sir Tybor and begin to master the sciences. Finally, the day comes where the teachers stop coming to the house. But before you can breathe a sigh of relief and put away the books, Father asks you to come to his study. You've grown, my son. It is time for you to continue your education away from home. I've chosen a deserving school for you. Sir Tybor's School for the children of noblemen and well-off commoners. Naturally, It's not a boarding school for nobles, so you will study there during the day and come home in the evening. You share the news with your best friend Thomas. Sir Thibault's school, eh? Yeah, I've got my parents send me there too, as soon as they can get the coin together. Father says his workshop has toiled day and night for years to save up for my education. The school is based on an ancient estate of the Arknian design. The classrooms are tall and spacious with massive benches. The sounds of scraping quills and lectures on history and imperial law and theology echo under the vaulted ceiling. The rules are strict, the lessons tiring. Restless, Thomas keeps getting distracted, and several times he gets his hand slapped with a stick for it. Every teacher demands flawless mastery of their subject. Every day Father asks you about your studies. You have already told him twice how Margaret joined the Empire and how the noble's court of honor is different from the commoner's civil court in the city prefecture, but Father keeps pressuring you to work even harder. When it is time to go to bed, Mother will not let you go to sleep until you recite a newly learned prayer for her. And when it is time to go to school, you promise her every day that you will behave with great humility and steer clear of insolent behavior of any sort, for you still live by the commoner's lot, and that lot is hard work and suffering. Your first month of school draws to a close, and the teachers announce there will be exams at the end of the month to determine the best and worst students in each subject. Father insists that you devote all your spare time to studying law and history if you wish to follow in his footsteps. But when you speak to Mother every day, you start considering theology. You still remember the revelations and divine visions that came to you in your earliest years. You only have one more day until the exam. You have locked yourself away in your room and it's getting late. Your desk is covered with handwritten notes surrounded by leather-bound books. Just looking at them makes you queasy, but you have to read through them all over again, at least one of your subjects. There's a nagging in your mind. Thomas ended up in big trouble the other day. He got into a fight with several boys who lived next street. They heard about your wooden fortress and got in an outrage by the fortification built by commoners. They swore to dismantle it tonight. Thomas swore he would defend the fortress to the end. Perhaps you should abandon your books to rescue a friend in need. But then you hear your little brother Nathan knocking at the door. He stands there shyly, not saying a word. He often does that, standing still and staying speechless until either of you speak first or he runs away. But this time he actually says something.
The door is locked. Are you okay, Dariel? Is there something I can do to help?
Your head is spinning. This is the last evening before the school exam. If you fail, your family will be very disappointed. You have to refresh your memory on law or theology, one or the other. But Thomas and your fort are about to be stormed. Why today of all days? You grind your teeth with rage at the thought. Nathan is by the door, trying to not bother you. He wants to help you the only way he can, for reasons only known to him. Will you accept his help? And focus on law and history to increase nobility. Can go to help Thomas with more ingenuity. Study theology. Or spend a moment with Nathan. So what's my personality at the moment? So I am currently honorable. But we're really going through ingenuity, and I really want to get that to enterprising as well. Do they cost willpower? They don't cost willpower. What's my relation with father? Wait, what? I should try to get... Wait, where's... Yeah, I'm going to go help Thomas. You sneak out of the house and run to your wooden fort. You push Nathan out of the room. He cannot possibly help you prepare for the exam, but once you are sure that nobody is behind the door, you open the window and climb out into the yard and over the fence. And then you run like the wind to the wooden fort where Thomas is in peril. The battle for the fort has already begun. Thomas is cornered. He swings a loose wooden plank, fending off 3 boys at once. This is not a fair fight by any means. Your friend is rugged enough to have a fighting chance against 2 of them, but 3 is too many.
Where have you been, Ariel? They're about to smash our fort. Get 'em!
You flank the assailants and slam into them at full speed, channeling the cavalry of the holy warriors. You take them by surprise and pull one of the aggressors away to knock him out with a punch to the jaw. Thomas cheers you on. You team up and make short work of the remaining foes. Your enemies retreat in shame. Thomas got a black eye and his knuckles are all covered in blood, but he looks unusually pleased with himself.
Couldn't have done it without you. Just look at him trying to tell us where to build our fort. Okay, time to fix her up.
Your score on the exam was merely satisfactory, but still well above a failing grade. The family is not too happy with you, but life goes on and your studies continue. You know you could have worked hard to prove yourself to your teachers, but your wooden fort still stands proud. And that's what matters. Fall. Noble titles. Your education continues. As you study imperial law, you come to realize that there's a certain hierarchy, even within the noble estate. It seems like your father's estate is not quite equal to that of more of the eminent human and Arknian gentry. You return home with this new information at your disposal. Father asks you about school after dinner, as he always does. Robert Brante. And what's the difference between nobles of the mantle and those of the sword, Dariel? You have already answered this before. The latter status is hereditary, meaning that it is passed down from father to son. After the Arknians, nobles of the sword are the most eminent humans in the Empire. They own land and estates. They fill offices of the highest rank, and the names of their bloodlines are preserved within the Great Blue Book. Nobility of the sword can only be granted by the overseer of the province or the emperor himself. And how are such eminent people addressed? With the honorific title L before their last name, you respond. Sir Augustine L. Bourne, for example. Father pats you on the shoulder, clearly pleased. And what about the Arknians and their status? What have you learnt about them? The Arknians stand above all human gentry. They are born to rule over humans regardless of their title. No L is required when addressing them. They need no honorifics, for the name of the ancient dynasties are known to all. Father nods somberly. Yes, we can never be their equals. Do whatever an Arknian tells you and never defy them. Ever. And what about grandfather and me? Where do we stand as nobles? That's easy. Father and grandfather are nobles of the mantle. This title cannot be inherited, but it can be earned by any commoner as a reward for the great service to the Empire, in the Legion, or as a civil servant. Father suddenly grows quiet and looks you in the eye intently. Yes, and someday you will earn a noble title too, son, in all due time.